And the big bit of news from the week is top Forty20 TV viewer and Huddersfield Giants coach Simon Woolford will soon be top Forty20 TV viewer and not coach of Huddersfield Giants, Simon Woolford, because he's off at the end of the season, in news which, well, has been rumoured for a while now. They lost again by a point to Leeds. Bloody Leeds again. They do this all the time, having led 10-0. Are we surprised at the news? Well, not surprised because we knew it was going to happen, but the theory behind it, I guess.
I guess I'm a little confused as to what the theory is. Like I say, my finger's not exactly on the pulse right now. So I know that Simon Woolford's been linked with a job in Australia to Penrith. How much of that plays a part? How much is it about Huddersfield being unhappy with results and performance? How much is it about Huddersfield wanting not to pay as much money as a coach? Is that play a part? I don't know from Huddersfield's perspective. I'm surprised from the pure sporting point of view of he is building a team. He brought in a new playmaker for this season. There was some progress, I thought, prior to lockdown. These are difficult circumstances, as we mentioned earlier. You have to be a little bit forgiving for some of the results. I think they've had terrible injuries as well, to key players that have meant that they've had to put, inexperienced players, at least at this level, in key positions. So if it's a completely sporting decision of, it's time for another reset to get someone else in, then yeah, I am a bit surprised. If it's the other reasons, if it's part financial, if it's part ambition on Simon's part, I can sort of understand the mix. But yeah, I'm a little surprised. Though obviously, like you say, we all knew. So
I think doesn't it go back as well to why would they get rid of Paul Anderson? I mean, it's 6-7 years ago that they were won the League Leaders' Shield. They were perennials in fighting for the playoffs at the right end of the table. They got to a couple of cup finals at Wembley. They'd started a process of young players coming through and then seemed to reverse that and want to buy expensive overseas players that perhaps they didn't get a return on. I'm not sure Huddersfield as a club know what they want to be or how they want to go about being what they want to be. I find it odd that there's no continuity around the place. Andy Kelly's clearly doing a great job with bringing the next generation of kids through. And I think, you look at any team that has brought through a group of young kids together, there is a period of time where they have to lose together before they win together. They have to learn together. They have to experience things together. They have to have a coach that believes in them. And I think the amount of youngsters that Simon has given an opportunity to over a period of time so that he can have a look at the ones that he thinks can do a job for him, the style that every coach that comes in wants to play. If you're always upsetting that every couple of years, I don't know where your philosophy is as a club. Clearly, Simon, when he first came over here, didn't have his family with him. That must be really difficult as an individual to come and work halfway around the world and not have access to your nearest and dearest. Clearly, he won't have come cheap. But I think he said, which was quite telling, he saw this as a 3 or 4 year job. And he needed to go through a process with the job, and he's being dispensed with after 2. Now, that might well be partly his decision. It might well be partly Huddersfield's decision. But who are Huddersfield going to get that isn't have to start again? And I don't know what they're trying to achieve. He seemed to me like a good fit at that club. And they seem to be moving forward. But I think this takes them back a couple of steps.
Maybe they'll get Paul Anderson back. Maybe Huddersfield are the new West Ham. They'll just keep.
And they're doing well.
Employing David Moyes. Yeah, maybe they'll do that with Blue. I don't know.
Scully's West Ham. No.
I thought you were going to say Scully's going back there then.
Well, he could do, couldn't he?
He knows Ken.
Yeah.
I know Ken.
I'm trying to see if any bookies have got prices on who's the next Huddersfield coach, because that's always worth losing money on. He's betting on next managers and next coaches. I don't know who's available. They're going to look at some of the Championship.
Well, yeah, are we thinking the obvious, assistant coaches in the NRL, or is this the time, global pandemic and all, and making cutbacks to give a chance to a younger British coach?
I tweeted that. I was accused of clickbait by asking that question. Which NRL assistant coach will it be? Well, I thought that was a fair question. Well,
James Ford has been linked with the job, but again, I think the club, whoever they are, be it Huddersfield or if we were talking about any club at the moment, they need to know what the land's going to look like over the next couple of years. Because are you going to be fighting against potential relegation? Are you going to have less money to spend overall, which means you're going to have to rely more and more on your youth and academy squad? Till you know what the roadmap of the sport looks like, it's very hard to bring a coach in, either from abroad or at home. Very hard to give a young coach a chance if they're going to be under enormous pressure to get their message across very quickly, because there's a massive financial incentive to stay in the Super League. If that is what you're going to have to do, then you might have to go for somebody who's got an established track record. You're Sam Allardyce of Rugby League. But does that help the club? Do you ever move forward if you're just treading water? I don't know.
Who is the Sam Allardyce?
I was just going to say that.
Who always keeps getting jobs? Who are those coaches?
I'm not sure there is a direct comparison. Rugby League, often you lose your job and you're sort of out of it for a long time, aren't you now?
Kieran Cunningham, where's he now?
You're done, yeah. That wouldn't happen in football.
No, statue with some headphones on. That's it. But Leeds won 13-12. Luke Gale dropped goal. To have that performance with all those players out missing, as we say at this point, it was quite a good performance from Leeds, Paul, to come back from 10-0 down. Showed some intestinal fortitude.
Yeah. I thought they did really well. I mean, Richard Agar was a bit down on the performance in his post-match interview, certainly the first half. Which, fair enough. But I thought in the circumstances, it was understandable. Second half, I thought they were good. They fully deserved the win. Obviously, the conditions weren't great, were they? Maybe played into the sort of old school Leeds, wasn't it? The old Rainmasters. But they handled that better, kicked better second half. And then, they've got the clutch players, haven't they? Luke Gale pops up with a drop goal, as he's done on many occasions. And that makes the difference. Yeah, I felt sorry for Huddersfield again, though. Was it three times now, isn't it, since the lockdown, to lose by 1 point? And I did wonder if is it a mentality thing with them, or have they just been unlucky? I'm not quite sure. But Leeds, from on the flip side, their mentality to win the close game was proven twice now against Huddersfield.
I know you've mentioned it, Rainmasters. I'm going to channel the energy of Scully. I've not mentioned him enough today. Leeds are going to do the double because they are the Rainmasters. They are the fourth in the table. So they can win Super League from there. They're in the Challenge Cup quarterfinals at the weekend. They're going to win everything. Leeds are going to win everything. Glory.
Second half was laudable, built on the back of a couple of really impressive performances. One from Nikolai Aledzki, who's going under the radar a little bit, but we're all quite rightly talking about Alex Walmsley being the best prop in the world at the moment. But for a young kid who's learning his trade, he's making a big contribution, 50-odd tackles again and a lot of metres. But I think it's his second stint when he comes back. He's equally as effective as his first, and that hasn't always been the case. It isn't with young players. I think James Donaldson was the other that, he made a break right at the start of the second half, and it seemed to pick up the whole team. When you think again, 6 weeks ago he'd been diagnosed with a broken back. These guys are absolutely phenomenal at playing every single team. Aidan Caesar had a great first half and faded in the second. Might be again because he's been injured. But I think what upset Simon departing Woolford more than anything was the fact that, having established a strong lead, and the conditions being as they were, that his team couldn't hold on to it. And I think you're right, that is perhaps we can feel this starting to slip away from us. We haven't got our key guys in key positions directing us around the field to greatest effect, and we've let another one go. And psychologically, I think that probably is quite an important defeat for Huddersfield.